Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Tisha McDonald, Alternative Beauty Studio.
And I am Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours here in Birmingham, Alabama. How was your day?
Tanika, today was a busy computer day. It is something when you have to do things for the government. So that I was, it was a busy day today. It was a busy day, constantly on the phone and the computer today.
Okay, all right. My day is a Friday, so I know it's
Yay!
Wednesday, you guys, but it's Friday for me for my nursing work. So now it's all about my clients at the shop. And see, we talked about having products and things like that and when you should have them and this and that and the other. So I just doubled the order. I know I have a large order for you, but because I keep getting calls for the built for this t-shirt, I doubled that order. And so she was like, wow, okay. So I told her just to double the sizes I already have. So yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank you, thank you,
congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
That's
So anyway,
awesome.
yes, what's going on with you?
Nothing. I'm ready to get into the subject, babe.
That's right, that's right. I'm ready.
So 5 things, and you said you only could come up with one, but I have four. So and we might be piggybacking off of each other. But I have 4 things that I have made a mistake for in parenting.
Okay.
But the first one is not listening closely. Like if my kids are trying to tell me something, sometimes you could get caught up in your own thoughts and ideas that you're not really receptive of what they're saying. I'll give you an example. Today, my daughter came to me, she's 15, and she's in this program for college. And she was saying, Mommy, they were saying to me that I should go to a liberal arts college, um, not just like a college that's known for law because she wants to be a lawyer. And I was like, no, Ray, go to a college that's known for law. That way, everything is there, all your credits. And so she was like, no, but they're telling me I should go to a liberal arts. And I'm just so stuck on if you want to be a lawyer, go to the school that's known for law. But I have to hear her out because obviously these people who she's talking to know what they're talking about. So
Okay.
that in that aspect, I would say I really wasn't listening because I was so stuck in what I believe that and ultimately she's going to have to make her own decision for college. But
I think when it comes to that, I understand your point on that one. But liberal arts broadens everything. It's not just a focus. They want you to be well rounded, not just in law, because as humans, we have to know about art. We have to know about everything just to have a little bit of everything. That's why they want you to have that liberal arts, anything, it'll tie in with the law. They want you just to be well rounded. Hey, Joelle. But also with me for that, I'm opposite. I do listen, and I think it could be a blessing and a curse. And Joel might could chime in. I always like Cordell just to express himself. I never just shut him down. I just want to hear him say what he says, and I don't mind that. But I guess this would be one of my flaws. Okay, that could be good and bad. Like I expect it from him, but he could be too crass like with others, like maybe a teacher or an adult, he'll just say it. Although I want him to express himself and say it, there's a way to express it, when you're talking to others. You know what I'm saying? Like I can take it, I don't mind, but I want him to have that freedom because I don't want him to feel closed off or that he can't. And I'm gonna give y'all a story. We was in the doctor's office and he had to get a shot that day. And so he said, oh, he said the word, y'all. And so I was right there, but I didn't mind. And the nurse was like, that's the most real, that she heard all day. Like, boys and men, they don't take shots. Well, anyway, but yeah, I like for him to express himself. So that could be good and not good if he doesn't know how to put it
when
in
you put it
context.
like that, like my sons, they'll come and talk to me about whatever, however they want to say it.
Mm-hmm,
They know who to say. Like a lot of stuff that they'll say to me, they won't say in front of their dad. You know,
mm-hmm,
so that's a plus. Like my boys will open up to me and say,
mm-hmm.
oh, I have some
Right.
examples, but they're too embarrassing
Graphic.
for right now. So,
Okay.
but they have some good ones, Tanika. I be in hysterics in the car. So they'll
Okay,
say certain
okay.
things to me that I don't mind, but today I felt like I was a little closed-minded when it came to my daughter in college and stuff like that. And ultimately, like I said, it's her decision when it's time for her to go to college. 'Cause she's been stuck in NYU. That's all her focus was. There is no plan B. NYU is the place to be.
Okay, and she could take liberal arts classes at NYU.
But now she's kind of changing her mind of what because of what they're saying. But I'm still saying focus, keep your
On
focus
what you
on
want. Yeah,
NYU. Yes.
yes. You got to find out why, why they trying to steer her.
Right. And one thing I did agree with though is that she was saying like the Ivy League schools, your Yales and your Harvards and your nobody's really looking at those schools right now because of the tuition and stuff.
Scandals.
Yeah. Although they did recommend Sanford, she said, but who's
Mhm.
going to California? I'm not going to California. So I said, okay.
Okay.
So the next thing I feel like was a mistake for me. Now my kids know how to do chores, but I have not enforced the chores.
I guess I could be on there with you on that one. See, I don't make him do as much as he should. Go ahead.
And so I kick myself all the time. Like you'll hear me cursing all every day. Like, why am I doing the kitchen? Why am I doing the laundry? Why am
Mhm,
these kids could help out more. They should be out there mowing the lawn.
mhm,
But I never really enforced it because with my daughter, I always felt like, oh, she has so much homework, and she really does. But the boys, I always feel like one boy would do more chores than the other. So then it's like, or I would be upset and be like, I'll just do it myself. It's not clean enough. So then I'll take on that responsibility instead of saying, no, you didn't clean it well enough, do it again. So now they are 15, 16, 17, and even though they know how to do chores, I feel like I haven't enforced it. So I'm feeling like, why am I doing this still?
I think, Tisha, yeah, you need to enforce it a little bit more with them because they are old enough and able to help. Mine, he doesn't give me no problem when I say to do it. So, but I have to tell him, like, I have to do a reminder. Cordell, don't forget to take the trash out. It's Tuesday. Trash man come. Make sure you take all the trash. Like, don't leave nothing. Or like the other day, I cut the front yard. It's his job to do the backyard. And I'm like, Cordell, go ahead, cut that backyard while it's still sunny and the grass is not too high. So I don't get pushback when I ask him to do it. And even with his bathroom, I'll say, Cordell, you need to go clean that bathroom, and he'll do it. So I don't get the pushback from it, but it's not something that he would initiate to do.
Okay, okay. Mine is Tanika, it's ridiculous because I'll even pull the garbage from the kitchen. I'll pull it out the can and put it on the side. I still will have to say take it to the garage. Like it's ridiculous.
My only thing is like I'll have my laundry, my laundry is downstairs, and so I'll let it pile up, and I want him to bring the laundry bag upstairs, so I'll drag it to the bottom of the stair, and I'm like, okay, you've been downstairs 5 times, why didn't you bring that bag up? I need help carrying that bag up the steps. So anyway, y'all are watching Twin This, and we're just talking about like some mistakes that we have made as parents, that we could have done better. And T, when you talk about this with the fellas, with the boys, they say you grooming them for their wives, and so now the wives are going to be stuck with all of this stuff to do. But I always talk to Cordell about that. It's an equal partnership. If y'all are both working, the chores fall on both of you. It's not just going to fall on the one. And that
That's
would.
the thing with my son. He's 16, Michael. Like 2 days ago, he made dinner real good. It was really good. I had 2 plates of what he made. It was like
The Chef Michael.
Chef Michael. Oh, I forgot what it is. Jerk
Chicken.
chicken with noodles. It was really good. Anyway, but I don't feel like if he makes dinner, I don't feel like he's the one who has to clean the kitchen.
Right,
Someone
right,
else has to clean the kitchen because he
right.
just made dinner. But what they'll do is, I'm not having that. I'm not eating that. So they don't feel like they have to clean the kitchen. So then I'm like, okay, I'll just throw the stuff in the dishwasher or I'll take care of it. And
Tisk,
so that
tisk,
is the
tisk.
problem.
Tisha, tisk, tisk. Gotta
I'm
go back
sorry.
to Ma's day where she wrote out a list of chores. So it didn't matter if you ate or not. If it's
That's
your
right.
week to do dishes, you do the dishes. If it's
That's
your
right.
week to sweep the floor, sweep the kitchen floor. If it's your week to do whatever, to dry and put away, then you dry and put away.
That's right.
And I think that worked back in the day for us in the house with all of us living there. So it could still work for you and your kids. It
That's right.
won't be the thing of, of, oh, it's not my turn, or I did it last, stuff like that,
Totally
Fortunately for
agree, and that's why we're talking about this tonight. The 5 mistakes that I know I have made, I only come up with 4, and maybe you could top me off with the 5th. So the next one, I feel like I haven't been as open with my children as I could be. Um, Meaning, I feel like my kids are sheltered. Like they know, yes, our parents died of drugs, but they've never gone to where we grew up. They've
you don't
never
have
seen it.
to.
They don't have to. They don't have to. They don't have to
Mhm.
know. But I just feel like they're a little bit sheltered because they've lived in homes all their lives. They never know project living, and that's okay. I'm not saying that they need to learn project living, but I feel like they don't know the less fortunate part. They don't know the less
Right.
fortunate
I
side.
think that you can't teach them everything. I feel like life will teach them and show them. That's how I
Yeah,
feel about that. There's certain things that they don't need to know. They don't have to know everything. They know enough. They know why. I don't know what they all know, but I don't think they have to know everything.
Even like when Rayleigh was coming to me, she wants to go to school at NYU. She's like, "Ma, I never drove a bus. No, I never rode on a train. I never rode on a bus. I wouldn't even know how to." In that aspect, she doesn't know
Okay,
city
life
living,
skills, life
life
skills.
skills, life skills. Because she's in a car. Everywhere we go is car, car, car. So she doesn't know public transportation. And even as she gets older, she won't be driving in New York City. So she really will need to learn those skills,
She got a
not be
daddy
so
that works for
sheltered.
the MTA.
Right. Husband works for the MTA. And, we go into the city and they know how to ride on a bus. But for her to have to catch it from, let's say, 34th Street to,
That's
Brooklyn
what
where
your
we
mouth
live,
is for. That is what your mouth is for. Excuse me, could you give me directions? Could you tell me how?
nigga, in this
And
day
that,
and age, you don't want to be stopping
I
talking to
know,
nobody.
I know, but it's trial and error for all of us. We have to learn, what's the benefit of doing it or not doing it.
Not doing what or doing what? Please clarify.
But yeah, some things we have to learn on our own, and that's how I feel about Cordell. Like some things but Cordell, he's by himself, and so a lot he has to be independent on. He has to do a lot by himself already. And like down here, and I guess it's regional because down here we don't have to take a lot of buses. There are no buses really here, the transit system. You have to have a car. So I think that what you're talking about is according to the population in which you live, the environment where you live. So if she goes to a school like that, she wouldn't be the only one that has to learn how to ride the bus. People from other countries have to learn. People from other states have to learn. New York City is a big city. So people have to learn that. It's not something that you might necessarily have to teach them. They will learn. So, a lot of stuff we had to learn
And
on
she
our
doesn't
own.
have that
The
street
street
smarts
smart. And
either.
I don't think that you can teach that.
Street smarts, but I'm telling her you can't have your head in your phone while you're crossing the street, not
That's
paying
the
attention
truth.
to who's
That's the
behind
truth.
you,
Yes.
etc.
And that's I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here for just a moment. I was watching a video on this lady was at the gas station and this white van pulled up. She had the gas thing in her hand and she just sprayed them with the gas and they all ran back to the white car because they was trying to rob her. And so I'm like, see, now that was being aware because her head wasn't in the phone or nothing. She was pumping her gas, checking her surroundings, and she saw when they pulled up and she just sprayed them all with the gas. She could have lit them up. But I was real,
That's good for her.
yes, being aware of your surroundings, that is a life skill. We are in our phones too much and not paying
Let me
attention.
let me tell you, not too long ago, and this is what was scary to me, and I'm gonna get to Rayhani in 2 seconds. There was a girl who was standing on the platform getting raped, and the bystanders jumped on him, held him and I was happy to see that people didn't just stop and
And walk by.
videotape. Everything is on camera. They actually got on him, and that's a scary thing for this young woman to have gone through that in daylight. So what the
Wow.
problem is that now with the COVID, there was a lot of homelessness and people staying living in the train stations and stuff. They're going to clean that up now because now they want to open up Broadway and stuff like that. So now they're going to be cleaning up New York again. But that was a really scary
It
situation.
is scary. That is scary. It's scary for any. Okay.
What train to ride at night what hour not to ride.
I think she's talking about if she went to school in the city.
Yeah, well, like we just said, Walter works for transit and he'll still be working and he still will be in Brooklyn as she's in college. So whatever time her classes are, we're going to try and, of course, make them all day classes, even though I know some colleges like NYU have night classes. But we're going to try and make sure she has all day classes and she's not staying on campus. She will be staying in our home in Brooklyn. That's the plan.
Yeah, and not only that, but a lot of the schools are doing online. So she'll have options of doing online classes as well. And then you also teach her to go with a group. We always was
Yeah,
taught if you go
no
together, you come
single
back together.
walking.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just some of the things, probably was
This is what
coming
I'm
from.
saying, Aunt Val. This is what I'm saying. Coming from Long Island, you felt like you were in the desert without a map.
Mhm.
This is what I'm saying. I want to prepare her. She needs to be prepared. So I'm hoping that she sticks with NYU because we're right here. But if she doesn't, if she goes to another state, she's talking about Boston. We will
But
have to
I
learn
mean, the
Boston.
reality is when you go off to college, especially if you go away, you still have to learn a
Of
city.
course,
You
she's not
just
the first, and she won't be the last.
yeah, she won't be the
Well, I
last.
don't know
But
why I'm harping on Rayleigh when I have a son that's going to be going to college before her.
mhm.
She's my baby. Okay, so that was it. So right now, the first three things we said was not listening. I feel like sometimes I'm not open to listening to what my kids have to say, and we got to remember that we're not always right. And today's time is a little bit different, and I can't be so set in my ways that I can't be
Open.
objective to listen to what my children have to say today, because things have definitely changed. My second thing was not teaching.
Pause on that. Pause on
Huh?
that. Pause on that. Because, you said things have changed. And that's true because, children today don't have as much respect for older people because I want to say we always do what I say, not as I do, and I don't think that that's the way it goes now because these kids now have opinions and points of view. They get to watch the news. They got access to the internet. So they have their own points of view and things like that. And you just talk to them and get an understanding from where they are, and because that all of this other stuff influences their mind as well. Sorry, go ahead
This
to
is
point.
true. So even saying that, my daughter and I had a conversation last week. I said, Ray, do you want to get the COVID shot? How do you feel about the COVID shot? I asked her, do you want it? Do you not want it? And she was like, only if you getting it, but she didn't feel either way on it.
Mm-hmm,
You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Wherein others would be like, yeah, give me that shot. I want the shot, or straight up, no, I don't want it. But I
Mm-hmm.
asked her, do you want it? And she's
I
like,
did the same with Cordell because he's 16. It is his body. I asked him what was his opinion. How did he feel about it? What did he think about it? And, like I said, they listen to opinions and views from others. And so it's like, no, some of my friends already took it. And this is what they said happened to them, but I'm like, okay, but, so we talk from different points of view and, you have to hear them out.
yes. Okay, so not listening was my number one, not being so open. Teaching my children the chores, but not enforcing it. They know how to clean, they know how to do things, but I don't enforce it. So, that was number two for me. And number three was not being more open with them. I felt like I could be more open with them, but my sister said, whatever. My fourth
Mm-hmm.
and last, because I told you I only have four that I can come up with, is not that I don't teach them a skill, but like my daughter always says, I haven't taught her a skill. Maybe piano lessons, maybe how to sing, maybe how to do something. But she feels like I never taught them or enforced a skill. But my thing is, Ray, you were doing cheerleading all these years. That's
I
what
was
you
going to
said you wanted
say,
to do.
mm-hmm.
So, but she said that that's not a skill. Like a skill for her would be learning how to play the piano, learning how to sing, something like that.
She
Even
has to
crochet
say
would
what
not
she
be a skill
wants
for
to
her.
do. It's not something, I don't agree with that one. She has to know what it is that she wants to do. I had a parent,
Walter would disagree. But go ahead.
okay? I had a parent to ask me about something with the bows and stuff like that. But that's not what her daughter was into. Her daughter was into making lip glosses. Why am I going to spend the time showing you how to make a bow when she's really into lip glosses? That's what she wants to do. Let her do what she wants to do. Now, why will Walter disagree?
He disagrees because he says whatever you put your kids into, that's what they're going to learn. So if we put them in, let's say I'm already looking at swim lessons for EJ. He's 5. And I'm like, you know what? He needs to learn how to swim, because that's one of the skills that a lot of us don't learn or whatever. And I'm like, teach him while he's young. That'll be a skill that will last him his whole lifetime. Once he learns, he has it. I'm not saying he has to be an Olympic swimmer, but at least he will have, and all my kids have had swim lessons, by the way. But my other kids were older when they.
I don't know, T. I have to still disagree because Rayleigh is a smart young lady. She sees all that you do. If she wants to pick up whatever it is, if she want to pick up the crochet, she'll sit right there and pick up the crochet. You used to be in the kitchen.
It's not the parents' role to kind of steer them. I wouldn't steer her into something I'm doing because she's not interested in what I'm doing.
Exactly. That's why I said she has to know what it is that she wants to do. And then you said, well, your husband would disagree. But like she sees that you do hair. Okay. She knows how to do that. That is a skill. She sees that you crochet. That is a skill. She sees that you keep taking continuing classes. She sees that you went back to school for mortuary science. So she sees all that you do. So I don't necessarily agree with that per se, because she has the example in front of her. I say the same thing about Cordell. He sees when I was making the butters and the scrubs. He sees when I do the t-shirts. He sees when I do hair. He sees when I'm doing nursing. He's been there when I got phone calls on call to go for an emergency to see a patient. So it's like, I'm showing you what you can do. It's up to you to pick up on what it is now that you want to do, but I do agree that they do need to have a skill to always fall back on something else. Like I wish, and I've been searching for apprenticeships or internships for him to do some masculine stuff. I don't fix on houses or cars.
My husband said that, but really, and my boys know how to put things together, but they could be doing more. They could put more things together. So when he's putting up the TV, for example, EJ was in there, my 5-year-old grandson was in there helping him put up the TV, but my son should have been in there doing that as well. So
yes, and the kids are not as interested as back in the day. We had the man came in, we got our bathroom done. Cordell stayed in his room. He put up new frames on all of the doorways. Cordell stayed in his room, so it's like, and then I asked the young man, he's an older man, y'all. I said, well, what does your son do? He said, oh, he doesn't do none of this hands-on stuff. He sits behind the desk. He does some type of administration work, It's good to have a skill.
That's what it is today. But that's the problem, only because now you got to call somebody to change a light bulb. Fortunately, my boys know how to do that, and snake out a toilet. They know how to do that, but that's not what I can say for a lot of this generation. They don't know how to do certain things. I'm not going to say so simple, but simple things like that. So I'm happy that they do have that skill to at least know the basics.
This is the Twin Nest with Tanika Gillard and Tisha McDonald. We are just talking about some mistakes as parents that we have made. Tisha's just talking about not teaching her daughter a skill. But even with Ma, T, let's be real here, because I get in trouble all the time. Everyone knows Tanika does not cook. And Ma would get on me all the time because we all was in the kitchen with Mom when she cooked. But that's just not an interest of mine. I have no interest in cooking. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I made some chicken and cabbage yesterday. I had it for lunch yesterday, had it for lunch today. And when I warmed it up, everyone was like, oh, that smells so good. I don't know what you do to your chicken. And, but I'm like, I don't cook for real, y'all. I'll just be playing, But it's not something I'm interested in. I have other interests.
And that's where we're opposite, guys. I just finished making 2 apple pies. After we finish the show, I will be making some shrimp. But that's where we're opposite. Nika doesn't like to cook, and I'm in the kitchen all the time. It's like I live there.
And let's be clear, it's not because I can't cook. well, my family might say that I can't cook. I like stuff that's different. I might like black beans and yellow rice, and I know my family is not going to eat something like that. I might throw a plantain in there. They're not going to eat that, you know. So, and if it's not Southern made with the, you know, back fat and stuff like that, my family is not going to eat it. I try to eat more on a healthier side. I eat a lot of snacks in between, but it's not because I can't cook. I just, one, don't have an interest, and what I do like is not necessarily what my family would like. So I'm not interested. I have enough going on. That's something that I can take off my plate. That's why they have delivery services.
Oh, here we go.
You know, other stuff, that other ways that you can get your nutrients. I have a chef that brings food to the shop every weekend for me. I'm like, hey, Bird, what's on the menu today? You know, but yeah, I'm not interested. I really am not.
I was spoiled and sheltered, but life will reach you.
That's what that's what I'm saying.
No.
Life teaches you because parents can't teach everything. You just give them what you can. But you can't, you don't have it all to give, you know.
Are you trying to get out of your one thing? Because
Oh no,
I came up with
my one thing is letting him quit all the time. So like Cordell started karate, and then he got up to like the yellow belt or the brown belt, and he wanted to quit. So I didn't let him do it anymore. He started basketball, then he didn't want to do basketball no more. So I let him stop the basketball. So I think that not finishing it out to the end, you know, I think that I shouldn't have let him stop. I should have let him keep going, or, you know, say, no, you got to continue till you get to your black belt. No, you have to keep going until you get to this point, you know. So that's my one thing that I think.
Okay, 1 second. Ms. Rayhani said, I would eat black beans and brown rice. Mom spit out my mashed potatoes because they didn't have salt.
Yeah. So, you know, I think everybody has their own palate. And I'm like, y'all not going to keep insulting my food, you know, like,
I eat some of everything, so.
Yeah, me and Rain will eat, but I ain't going to let y'all. It's the first time. Okay.
Oh, my gosh. Life will teach you, okay?
It sure will.
Horrible, horrible. Please, Walter was in New York, and I was here, and the toilet got stopped up. I don't know how much toilet paper these kids put in there, and I had to snake it out. I had to figure out how to use that snake. Michael was helping me. It was something. But now I know how to use one. He said, someone would have charged you, you know, $150 to come and unclog something that you can do yourself. I was like, this was fairly easy, you know. But quitting, I can't say that my kids are quitters.
I know.
Like their mama.
I know.
Michael, he's still doing football. I thought that he wasn't gonna, you know, wrestling. He did that one season and he had to finish the season. I wasn't gonna let him quit. Not that he said he wanted to quit, but he just did one season, and after that, that was it. He did one season of track. After that, he said that was it. But he had to complete the season. He did it was something else he did, one other thing. I can't remember. He was playing the trumpet. He did that for 2 years, maybe 2 years, I want to say. And after 8th grade, when he went off to high school in 9th grade, he said, I'm not going to do it. But he did the 2 years. And then he said, I'm not going to continue. So yeah, my kids, they don't quit. They never even thought to say, Mom, I'm going to quit this. But he did say, I'm not going to continue it next season.
He would have continued the basketball, I think. But when you're trying out at a school that has a lot of basketball players, and you're trying out and you still don't make the team, that could become disheartening, you know, knowing that you're good, but knowing that they're pre-selected, you know. So that's disheartening. So I feel like he felt like, well, forget it, you know, I don't want to do it, you know.
He's an awesome basketball player.
And, you know, with COVID happening and the kid's not able to be out and play ball like he likes to do. So that could be another reason as well, because basketball is what he really, really enjoyed doing, you know.
Yeah.
But karate, I could see, you know, he was little when he did that, you know. So, yeah, that's the only one thing that I could think of, you know.
Okay. Well, guys, that is our show tonight. The 5 mistakes that we have made as parents. Should I recap one more time, or?
You don't have to recap, but I think that this might be a ding ding bonus one, giving our kids too much, you know.
Okay.
I think we give our kids too much, just as in general as a generation. Because, like I said, Cordell has too many gadgets in his room. He has a TV, he has a laptop, he has his iPhone. I mean, he has too many. He has his PS, whatever. So I think that we give our kids too much, and they're not grateful.
Or they don't keep the grades up enough to really warrant it.
Well, that's not being grateful, because if you're grateful, you're going to keep those grades up and do what you're
You
supposed
just
to
take
do.
it away.
Yeah. So
Again,
I
that's a
think
parent
that,
thing. Like if you took it away, you're great. You got a C or a D.
but that's just an example. I
Yeah,
mean, we give
yeah,
our kids, like, I
true.
don't, but the high name brand sneakers when they come out. And, I think that we don't place value on the things that are important.
Important.
Yeah, Cordell doesn't necessarily want to go to college, but I want him to get either a trade or a skill or have something that he can fall back on. I don't believe everybody is college material, but I'm hoping that he'll do something in the medical arena. I'm hoping. I tell him he doesn't have to be a nurse or a doctor or anything like that, but he could do something like a paramedic or EMT, something like that that might pique his interest and give him a career. He might get into it and start to like it and then want to move on. But, yeah.
All right, guys, this is Witness. We want to say thank you for watching tonight. We just wanted to tell you our 5 mistakes, but we're learning from our mistakes.
I think
Do you have anything to say, Nikki?
I think all parents learn later on when they look back and say, "Oh, I should have did this." But as parents, we do the best that we can with what we know and how to do. So good luck to you guys, you parents. With raising your kids.
All right, have a good night. We will be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Sundays are our hair days. So we're going back to the beginning where we always did hair or talked about hair on Sundays, and Wednesdays is our general topic of conversation.
Yes, and we are going to be a guest on Libra Hicks, her podcast, Sunday evening, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. I will be posting, or we will be posting more information on that later on.
All right. And that is it. Have a good night.
Good night.